Hello everyone, welcome to the video. For this video, I have configured the connection between WooCommerce and Microsoft Dynamics GP via AppSeConnect. So today, I will be displaying you a live demonstration of data integrations between both of these applications using AppSeConnect. So before I move to the demonstration, let me show you that the process of synchronization between both of these applications is a bidirectional process. That is, data can be integrated from WooCommerce to Microsoft Dynamics GP and as well as from Microsoft Dynamics GP to WooCommerce. And under each of this connection, we have certain data integration points which when triggered pulls and pushes the data from one application to the other. And for the trigger mode, we have two applications. One is the manual mode and the other is the auto mode. So for the manual mode, here you will have to manually trigger this play button and then the process of synchronization will begin. And the other is the auto mode where you can set the data integration point under auto mode and then set the timing from the clock here based on minutely, hourly or daily basis. So if I put the timing as 5 here, so the data of inventory add will synchronize after every 5 minutes automatically and you will not have to trigger any data integration points or any play button manually. So this was about the trigger mode. Apart from the trigger mode, we also have a resync bucket where you will get the information regarding the data integrations like success and the failure messages, whether your data has been successfully synchronized or not. Apart from this, we also have a transaction log where you will get the detailed view of your synchronization based on the timestamp. Okay, so this was all about the agent and the data integration points. So now let us start the uh, data integration. So I will first begin by creating a customer in WooCommerce, which I will synchronize from WooCommerce to Microsoft Dynamics GP, and then I'll create a new item in Microsoft Dynamics GP, which I will synchronize to WooCommerce, followed by the inventory of that item which I will update in Microsoft Dynamics GP and then sync it to WooCommerce. And at last, I'll be creating an order in WooCommerce which I will be synchronizing from WooCommerce to Microsoft Dynamics GP. So let us start the demonstration and create a new customer in WooCommerce here. So here I'll move to the user section where I will add a new user. So I'll click on the add new button here and I'll add a new customer here. So I'll first provide the username of this customer and then I'll provide an email address. The email address should be a unique email address. And then I'll provide the first name of this customer and then the last name. And now the role of the user is already set as customer, so I'll just add this user. Now, after adding this user, I also need to add the billing and the shipping address for this customer. So I will edit this customer to add the other mandatory details. And for demonstration purpose here, I'm only adding the mandatory fields. But if you need to add any other extra fields, that can be mapped as well. So here I'll be adding the company name and the other details. So the city is already added, even the postcode. Now I'll be selecting the country for the address, and now I'll be adding the state followed by the phone number. And now I'm just copying down the billing address under the shipping address section. So I'm using the same shipping and the billing address, but you can use different shipping and billing address as per your requirement. So our customer has been created in WooCommerce. Now, here in this AppSeConnect agent, in the WooCommerce to Microsoft Dynamics GP direction, I have a data integration point customer add, which I will manually trigger by clicking on the play button. So now the customer that we created in WooCommerce will get pulled and then pushed to Microsoft Dynamics GP. So let us move to the Microsoft Dynamics GP, where I will be searching for the customer that I just created in WooCommerce under the customer section. So I'll click on the customer here, and then I will search for the customer by the name of the customer. And also, this customer synchronization process is a bidirectional process. So if you want your customer to be synced from Microsoft Dynamics GP to WooCommerce, that is also possible. Under the filter section, here I am selecting the filter field to be the customer name, and then I'll be providing the customer name right here. And then I'll click on OK. So as you can see, the customer that I just created in WooCommerce has been successfully synchronized here in Microsoft Dynamics GP with the exact address that I provided and the exact WooCommerce ID of this customer. So our customer synchronization process is successful. Now I will be moving to the next data integration point, that is item add. So for that, I will first move to the inventory, where I will be creating a new item. So under inventory, I'll move to the items. Now I'll move to the items, and then I will add a new item here in Microsoft Dynamics GP. So I'll first give the item number or the item SKU, and then I'll give the description of this item, and then I'll give the short description, and now I will be selecting the class ID for this item, and after adding the class ID, I will now be adding the weight of this item, and then I'll be adding the price for this item. So I have filled up all the mandatory fields, but if you want to fill any other field as well, that can be mapped as well. So for demo purpose here, I'm only using the mandatory fields. So now that our item has been created here in Microsoft Dynamics GP. So here in the agent, from the Microsoft Dynamics GP to WooCommerce direction, I will manually trigger the data integration point item add. So this item add data integration point is a bi-directional process. So you can also create your product in WooCommerce and also sync it to Microsoft Dynamics GP. So now let us move to the product section. So here, if you notice, the product that I just added in Microsoft Dynamics GP has been synchronized here to the WooCommerce store with the exact name and the exact SKU that we added. Let us open the item to check the other details as well. So here, if you notice, the exact description that we provided in Microsoft Dynamics GP has been added here. And then under the product data, if you notice, the price that we added has been successfully synchronized right here. And under the inventory tab, the exact SKU that we added in Microsoft Dynamics GP has been successfully synchronized here. So our item add is successful. Now I'll be moving to the next data integration, that is inventory add. So here, if you notice, the inventory is currently out of stock. So let us update the inventory of this product in Microsoft Dynamics GP and then sync it to WooCommerce. So let me move to the product section. So the stock status is currently showing as out of stock. So now I'll move to the Microsoft Dynamics GP and update the stock of this item. So let us move to the Microsoft Dynamics GP. So for updating the inventory, I will first move to the item transactions, under which I will update the inventory. Now I'll move to the adjustment transaction, and then here in this page I will search for the item by the item number. So I'll search for the item here, and then click on select. So this is the item that we synchronize to WooCommerce. Let us select that item. Now, after selecting the item, I will be selecting the reason code of this item. And now I'll add the quantity to be updated. So I'm putting the quantity as 100. Now I will add the site ID for this item. So now I'm going to post this document. So the inventory has been successfully updated here in Microsoft Dynamics GP. Now, here in the APPSeCONNECT agent, if you notice, I have set the inventory at data integration point in auto mode. So the inventory will get automatically synchronized from Microsoft Dynamics GP to WooCommerce. I will not have to trigger any data integration point or any play button. So now let us go to the WooCommerce, and here if you notice, the stock status is presently out of stock. So let us refresh the page, and then after refreshing the page, we can see that the stock that we updated in Microsoft Dynamics GP has been successfully synchronized here in WooCommerce with the exact quantity, and also the status has been changed from out of stock to in stock. So our inventory add data integration point is successful. Now I will be moving on to the last data integration point, that is order add. So for that, I will go to the order under WooCommerce and then add a new order. For the customer, I will be adding the customer that I just synchronized from WooCommerce to Microsoft Dynamics GP. So I have selected the customer. Now I will add the item. So the item that I will select here is the item that I just synchronized from Microsoft Dynamics GP to WooCommerce. Now I will be adding the shipping charge for this order. So for the shipping rate, I will be using the flat rate method, and then I'll be assigning a shipping charge and save it. Now I will create this order. So the order has been successfully created here in WooCommerce. So now again here in the APPSeCONNECT agent, if you notice, we have a data integration point called order add in the WooCommerce to the Microsoft Dynamics GP direction. So now I will manually trigger it. So what will happen? The order that I created in WooCommerce, it will get synchronized from WooCommerce to Microsoft Dynamics GP. So now let us find the order that I just created in WooCommerce here in Microsoft Dynamics GP. So to search for the order, I will first move to the sales section, and under sales section, I will move to sales transaction entry, where I will find for the order by the name of the customer. So here under the sales transaction entry, I will first change the type from quote to order, and then I will click on the search button under the document number section, and then search for the sales order by the name of the customer. So the name of our customer was Billy Styles. Now I will click on OK. So if you notice here, the order that I just synchronized from WooCommerce has been successfully synchronized here in Microsoft Dynamics GP, along with the exact item number, the exact quantity, the exact unit price, and if you notice here, with the exact freight charges and the exact total amount. So our sales order synchronization is also successful. So that is all for this video. Thank you for watching.